Hi West Texas, and welcome into another episode of our VCast series, Chat with the Chief. I'm Burt Sempier, and as always, I'm joined by the man, San Angelo Police Chief, Travis Griffith. Chief, I feel like it's been a while. How are you?
Man, I'm great and just blessed by the best and so glad to be here. You guys are always awesome. Great host.
Hey, you're a great guest. So let's hop right into it. A big week for the San Angelo Police Department. On Wednesday, you and Howard College held a ribbon cutting, officially unveiling the new police academy. What was that day like, and what do you hope this academy means to the men and women in blue?
I tell you what, it was an awesome experience. We had a great turnout. It was a wonderful group of people there, and the partnership with Howard College is just going through the process has been amazing with them. And Pam and her team and Dr. Sparks, that all of them have just been amazing. And we see this as a wonderful opportunity for our cadets to be more in an environment where they can be around other individuals, the people that we serve in our community, and be able to have that opportunity to be able to try to recruit those and see that, they see what's going on, maybe get some spark some interest in those that are just attending Howard.
The fact that these cadets will be on a college campus, and obviously the officers, I'm sure, have seen it, will see it, maybe this could help spark a little bit of interest in furthering their education?
That's key, yeah. So the way we've lined it up right now, we're always going to be kind of tweaking and trying to find the best step forward. But when they graduate our police academy, right, because it's working in partnership with Howard, they're going to come out with 18 college credits. And so we hope that once they finish their field training that they'll keep their enrollment and keep going to Howard to finish out their degree and then ultimately get that 4-year degree. So I see that as a great way for us to intro and introduce them into that environment, because the more education you have, the better it is for you in regards to like the English aspect. We're writing reports. The better you write a report, the better that's going to be for court and for just the prosecutors and anybody else about reading your report to see who you are at the core and what kind of work you put forth. And
SAPD and Howard College also received a certificate from Representative Darby's office, essentially, I guess, congratulating this partnership. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think people are seeing that the more that we can tie this into this partnership role of education and working to be better together, because ultimately we want to produce a higher, better quality cadet, which is honestly the better we have coming out, the more likelihood of you having an encounter with an officer at a higher, greater quality. So.
Now, speaking of training, we know in a few weeks on February 22nd, SAPD will be hosting a training exercise for church safety teams. Yeah. We know that police are Johnny on the spot when an emergency happens, but in the few minutes or moments that it takes an SAPD officer to get on scene, those church teams could really be the difference between a disastrous situation. What do you kind of hope for this training, and what might that entail?
Well, we're using this as a kickoff moment to be able to say, hey, we see a need and we see the ability to help make us all better together and understand from those individuals that are responsible for safety at those different facilities, that they can see what we do and we can have that conversation to know what to expect when the police are arriving, talk about issues of trying to de-escalate if maybe you have somebody that is going through mental health. We see this as an opportunity to start a quarterly training for churches and for schools, so non-public schools, any faith-based schools or whatever that are interested. We want them to come and be able to see, hey, here's a training, kind of a shout out to Pauline Baptist Church for making the facility available to us, and then also the new Chick-fil-A on Bryant there has given us the meals for it. So it's a great opportunity for everybody to come together and get good understanding of what it's going to take on both ends of that.
Just a quick PSA about that. It will be held on February 22nd, as the chief said, at Pauline Baptist Church, and it'll run from 10 to 3. SAPD has some more information up on their Facebook page. Speaking of the academy, earlier this month you had 13 cadets go into the academy. We spoke a little bit last time about what their training entails, so on and so forth. Just wondering how it's been over these last couple of weeks.
Man, we're excited. We have all of the cadets are still there and doing great, and so we hope to maintain that throughout. Your attrition rate in academies are always something you kind of watch. We have a great new training staff that we're working through, and those guys have just been really good at motivating the guys and getting them where they need to be. And, that's a big thing because the previous academy had 3, and we had academy that was slotted to go with just 2. So you start going back to see our attrition rate has been really cutting into that. So to have 13, that's well above and beyond our attrition rate. We've also been able to hire 6 laterals, and we have like 3 or 4 more laterals that are looking to come in. And for those that don't know, a lateral is someone who is already certified as a police officer, already working somewhere generally. And so their turnaround time for us to hire somebody, go through the lengthy background, and then get them actually doing police work by themselves is much shorter than what you'd see with a police cadet. So we're excited to be able to get all those people out there.
Exciting times. Now, the very first time that we had met for the first episode of the VCast seems like a million years ago,
right.
But not even a year ago. You had mentioned how one of your main priorities was to increase the ranks of SAPD. You have these cadets, you have the several lateral officers, more looking to come in. Are you pleased with the progress you've made so far?
Yes, I'd say outside of a miracle, man, we are in a spot that we didn't think we would be at this quickly. That credit goes to our staff, whether that be our recruiters or background investigators, those that are out there training these officers that are already going through the lateral process. The big thanks to the city helping us be able to get different plans to be able to have retention programs that help us, and also bonuses and stuff like that. So it's just been a long step along this process, but here we are 7 months later, and we're at a place that we never thought possible, and we're going to just keep pushing forward to get to where we need to be.
As you know, every once in a while I bring up a story that involves a SAPD response. There were some tense moments yesterday afternoon where a call went out that there was the possibility that someone had seen a wanted suspect. Long story short, that person ended up at the La Quinta Inn. They had allegedly driven down a one-way the wrong way. The person was taken into custody. Anything else you can share with us about that, Chief?
Yeah, so we won't get into a lot of detail on it, but I can tell you that we're working with multiple agencies, and we're all trying to work through, we created the new drug task force, and we have some things that we're working on together. And so anything we can do as a unified front, we have some individuals we've been looking for that have been known to be actively involved in crime. And so when we have those subjects, we're going to be looking for them. And when you get down to it, suspects make decisions, right? And we have to act off of that. And I think sometimes that gets forgotten in the mix, is that perfect world, we want somebody to surrender and we go through the process and it's a safer environment for everybody. But comes a time and place where there's an individual that is so poses such a dangerous danger to society and to the public that we're going to go get them no matter what, right? And so we're always mitigating that. We're always looking at where's the line, where do we push and when do we pull. And in this case, the officers, everything that I see is they acted appropriately, got everything done. Bad guy goes to jail, and we can limit the danger to the public. So.
And I wanted to ask you about this. I know this took place many, many miles away, but in a sense it, I think, kind of hits home to San Angelo. We have Goodfellow Air Force Base. We have service members here. We live in a community where people really admire the service members. And last night in Washington, D.C., we had the tragic accident with an American Airlines jet and a Blackhawk helicopter colliding midair with, as we know now, at least 3 service members were on board the helicopter and killed. I think that kind of hits close to home here in San Angelo.
Yes, sir.
Just maybe your initial thoughts when you had heard that something like this happened.
Sure, man, my heart goes out to the families of everybody involved in that. Such a terrible tragedy, and just my prayers are with them. And when it comes to serving or traveling or anything, that any given moment in our lives, we don't know when that day comes where it's our last. And so I think it's always a reminder to be thankful for what we have, even when we're having a bad day, even when we might be mad at our spouse or frustrated with our neighbor or whatever it might be. It gives us an opportunity to be able to say that, hey, we're going to pray for them. We're going to take pause to pray for them, and just our hearts go out to them. But also to say, let's think about what are we doing. Say I love you to your loved one. Even when sometimes you're frustrated, to say it's okay with your neighbor when they mess with your trash or cause an issue or whatever. To say it's not worth the frustration, because at any given time, it could be your last. I think the more we stay focused on living in a way that I think that is foundational to the country and foundational to what it means to be a resident here in a home here in San Angelo, that we see the value in life and the value that at any given time, your time could be up. So live life to the fullest, make good use of your time.
Normally I ask you for any words of wisdom at the end, but I think you pretty much said it all. Chief, once again, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you.
That'll do it for another episode of our VCast series Chat with the Chief, featuring San Angelo Police Chief Travis Griffith. We'll see you next time.